Hi, everybody. It's Steve Tarter, another edition of Tarter Sauce. And with me today, happy to have Nikki Romain here in the studio and your little friends who came along.
Yes.
We'll get to why they're there. It's Halloween, but it's more than that. Nikki, you and Jonathan, I think most folks are going to recognize you because you've been fairly prominent in the last few years. I think very prominent. As you try to convert an old school, Greeley School, into an arts center, art and culture center.
Yes.
How is it going?
It is going. So I always tell people we're not grassroots, we're mud roots.
Mud roots, okay.
And we're in the very beginning. We've accomplished a lot in a year. So the last time we spoke, we were going through the State Farm Neighborhood Assist, which we ended up winning. And then in January, we had our very first fundraiser. And now we're headed into our second one, which will actually be inside of our building. But before then, we actually opened our doors in June. We had a big soft opening, and we had our summer camp for the month of July. We had STEAM. We had STEAM the last week of camp. We had filmmaking, visual arts, dance. All kinds of stuff. That was going on for the summer camp, and now we're in the after-school program. So we have.
How many kids are involved?
So in the summer, we had about 40 kids enrolled in our summer camp, and they all chose their majors, and it was a 10 to 3, 5 days a week.
Wow.
The whole month of July. We were all in.
Wow.
So we just started our after-school program. We're actually inside of 3 Peoria Public Schools. We're in Manual, Treewind, and Glen Oak. And basically, Peoria Public Schools has the 21st Century program, and Art Inc. contracts the teachers for the enrichment portion. So we have all types of arts going on there: dance, visual arts, STEAM, DIY, sewing, all kinds of stuff.
So when people think, oh, they took the arts curriculum out of the schools, you put it back in.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's after school, but the kids
It's
can
after
take.
school, yeah.
Now, let's talk about your fundraiser coming up, because that's upon us fairly quickly.
Yes.
It's got a nice theme, Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos.
You say it better than I do. And
Love
what does
never
that
dies. So basically, Dia de los Muertos is Day of the Dead. And it's not a scary theme. It's actually honoring the people that have passed away. And so this is going to be an annual event that we'll have. This is the first year. And what we want to do is pay tribute to the life of a Peorian that has passed away, but that contributed greatly to Peoria. And this year, we're actually honoring the life of Glenn Barton.
Okay.
And we're excited about that because he has done so much for Peoria. So we're excited that Polly allowed us to, come aboard. Yes, yeah. Polly Barton, to kick off our inaugural Dia de los Muertos, Love Never Dies.
Glenn, I know, was a big, of course, Caterpillar executive president and involved in a lot of different things throughout the community
WTVP,
after he retired.
Quest. Oh my gosh, it goes on and on.
Now, what will you be doing? You'll have a contest of some sort, costume, I'm guessing?
Yes.
It's pre-Halloween, so I'm guessing that.
So it's hosted by Matt George and Sylvia Garcia Rojas. And we will have a costume contest, but it's the Day of the Dead theme. So there's a VIP portion that starts at 5, and people can get their makeup done in the Dia de los Muertos style, which is why we have these here. And then at 6:30, the program starts. So there'll be mixing, mingling, cash bar. We'll have some surprises, and there will be, like you said, a best dressed contest. They'll get a trophy for male and female. We'll have the tribute to Glenn Barton, and actually John Morris is doing the tribute.
Oh, that's good.
And
he won't be lost for words. We know John. I have to tell you, not to take you off subject, but
no, it's okay.
They had a news conference last week on the Peoria Innovation, the Innovation District being downtown. The designation now, the council approved it, and they held it at the museum, just the news conference. And John just welcomed everybody, as he often does, to the museum. And he immediately went into this thing about the Kankakee Torrent, the something I'd not heard about before, which was how the Illinois River was formed. And he gave us that quick history, amazingly enough, and then tied it to innovation. So only John Morris could do that.
Only John Morris.
So Lord knows what he'll come up with.
Exactly.
When he honors Glenn Barton.
Yes.
But now, what is the cost? How do people get involved with this?
So, actually, VIP tickets just sold out this morning.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so the VIP tickets were $100, and general admission is $75. So yeah, general admission is still available. I'd get your ticket now before that's sold out.
Where do you go? On the website?
So yeah, you can go to artincpeoria.org, but we're actually set up through 309 Tix. Have you heard of 309 Tix?
No.
It's actually kind of like Eventbrite, but it's through Peoria magazines.
Oh,
So they
okay.
started their own ticketing company for local. It's called 309
Nice.
Tix. Yeah.
Oh.
But I refer people to the website because it's easier.
StubHub for local. Okay.
Exactly. So also we will have catering by Casa de Arte. Have you heard of them? Or in the Warehouse District, they have, it's like
Yes.
art and tequila.
I think I had one of their tacos on Saturday. Yeah.
So we'll actually have tacos by Casa de Arte, and we'll have tamales by Panadera Ortiz. So we'll have authentic Mexican food, cash bar, silent and live auctions. And we'll also have some celebrity skits.
Oh.
Our celebrities are Christine Bar Kemper, Rita Ali, and Cesar.
Oh.
Cesar Vargas.
Well, we'll have to bring that up with Rita because we're doing a podcast with her tomorrow.
Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. We can't stand still anymore.
No.
Well, this is great. A lot of planning goes into this. A lot of work. How do you guys do it? Because Jonathan, you're doing art. You're doing these classes. You're trying to raise money.
Yes.
How do you, now that you've had a couple of years of it, and I think you mentioned to me, you're still feeling it's just starting.
Oh my gosh, we're still in the beginning. I mean, so it's been a full year. We just filed our first 990, which is like your nonprofit tax return.
Right.
So it's also new. Even though it's moving rapidly, it's still like we just opened our doors in June. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we are just grinding away every day. Jonathan handles a lot of the, like when you come into the building and you see everything that's done in there, that was him. He's literally done everything, which is also, the balance of him doing that, but also selling art, because that's how
I can't imagine.
He provides for our family.
Yeah.
So it is quite the balance, quite the balance. But when you come in there, you will see he has done an extraordinary job. On the main floor where our programming is, we have his artwork as well as our own personal art collection. So that's something you can't get anywhere, right? Because we have our own art collection, and the kids get to come in and see history, because there's a lot of history in the artwork that we have, and to see reflections of themselves reflected back to them.
Now, you say it's just still unfolding and all these challenges lying ahead. Has it surprised you, since you and Jonathan kind of undertook this, you obviously knew, hey, this is going to be a challenge.
Absolutely.
To take an old school and try to turn it around in a neighborhood that desperately needs revival. And I'm not saying it's there are other things going on in that
Absolutely.
neighborhood.
Habitat for Humanity.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
Friendship
going
House.
on, and that's if I was writing a story for the paper, that would be a theme. But has anything surprised you in this
There's been a lot
journey
that surprised
that you've
us.
taken?
I don't know if you know, but we're slated to receive funding from the state
Right, I
for
heard this.
$500,000. That surprised us, because that's something. You can't
count on that.
Exactly. And it's something you expect because you feel like you're going to do really good work, but not so soon, all of the publicity that we've received, that's a surprise so soon. Honestly, a lot of it is a surprise. Like, you put in the work and we're just, focused on that. And then all these other great things are just popping up. Even like our summer camp, we don't have the funding to hire. I don't have an assistant. I don't have you know what I mean? Those kind of things. But we had 2 people that were there every day volunteering for that camp.
Wow.
I mean, that surprised me. One of them was the mother to one of our board members. And the other, my husband met at Lowe's. Seriously. It has been.
It pays to get out and shop, folks. Don't spend all that time in front of the computer.
It has been a true blessing. And this community is so giving and so helpful, and I mean, they just have embraced us and what we're doing. And I think that there's a need for what we're doing. And the kids, like we started a filmmaking class for high school students. And I spoke to a couple of the moms, like, how is it, getting their experience? And one of the kids was like, well, I have this going on, and then I have film class. You know what? I'll just tell them I have film class. I was like, what?
Now, how old are these kids making films? High school kids.
High school kids. And that class is actually really special because it's in partnership with Big Picture Peoria and Illinois American Water. So the kids are actually going to be shooting videos for Illinois American Water employees. Oh. So when the employees go out into the field to do different things, I'm probably chopping this up horribly, but they look at an instructional video. And so our kids are going to be shooting those videos.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So they're going right into the workplace sort of thing.
And there's also a couple of videos that will be displayed at the fundraiser, and the filmmaking class is working on those as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and who teaches the filmmaking?
So our teacher, that was a journey. So part of this is also finding all these great teachers to teach inside of the schools, to teach at our center. And Giovanni Galindo is our teacher for the filmmaking class. He actually won the 48-hour film festival at the Riverfront Museum.
Oh.
And the kids love him. He's so great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing to just as you kind of tell us what's happening there. People drive by and probably think, oh, yeah, there's that school. I think that's going to become, and they don't know what's going on inside, which is understandable.
Well,
because
that's part of the funding.
You want to get them in there.
Right, exactly. Part of the funding that we'll receive from the state will help with visual on the outside. Because,
Well, you can only do so many things at once.
Exactly.
And I know your plans about, how is it that now we were talking earlier, you're from Chicago, well, you've been elsewhere, but you're from Chicago principally.
Yes.
And you've been in Peoria 4 years?
4 years.
4 years. And so that's an adjustment.
It was a major adjustment for me.
And now you're working 24/7 on this big project in Peoria. So how's that been going for you?
So the initial move to Peoria was really hard for me. I moved while I was pregnant, and Jonathan travels a lot.
Right.
So in the beginning when I moved here, I was pregnant and I was still gallivanting. Like my baby shower was in Los Angeles because I used to live there, and my close friends are there, so they threw me a shower. I went on a cruise with Jonathan. Like I didn't feel like I was here yet.
Yeah.
And then I had the baby. And then I realized I didn't have any family or friends. And my only family and friend was my husband.
Yeah, and he's traveling.
He was traveling. It was rough, let me tell you. So I found a mommy group online. And I joined that, and I still have some really great friendships from that mommy group. And then I just eventually started meeting more people. And then this project came.
Whose idea was that? The idea of the school.
Separate from each other, we both had a vision of giving back because my background is performing arts, his background is visual arts, and we literally were both saved by the arts when we were young. So while we're out doing our things, he's traveling, selling art, and I'm traveling, doing theater and all this stuff. In the back of our minds, we're like, we want to give back. And so when we met in Chicago at an art show, one of his art shows, we were talking about that. And so our relationship was kind of based off of our dreams and passions, right?
They were similar.
Yeah. And so when I initially moved here, we thought of doing a nonprofit inside of our studio on Sheridan. But Jonathan literally takes up every crevice of that building because he does his own framing, he designs his work, he does shipping. Like when you see, it's a whole production. So he takes up too much of that building. So then we decided, well, we could do speaking engagements. I can do my one-woman show and empower people that way because my platform is empowering women and youth. So anyway, we're talking about that and chugging along. And then he drove by Greeley. And he came home and he's like, you want to buy a school building? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, boy.
And so we just felt like it was a way to have a sustained impact on youth because when he would go out, and he's done speaking engagements at, juvenile detention centers, public schools, colleges, you only get a weekend or a day. And then what are those kids left with?
Right.
So this is a way to have a sustained impact on these kids where they can touch, see, and feel us and pick our brains and learn from us on a consistent, ongoing basis.
And it's in an area that you can really ignite. It can be a catalyst for all kinds of activity, which I think we already see that. As you said, Habitat for Humanity has been working there. You've got folks there doing gardens. And,
Exactly.
you know.
And we have a community garden as well.
Okay.
It's the Let Us Share Romain Community Garden. And it's
romaine lettuce in there? Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Let Us Share
Yeah,
Romain.
yeah.
So the University of Illinois Extension Master Gardeners, they came on board, and we're inside the building trying to get it open. We had no time to focus on the garden. They took it away. Oh my gosh. So Jonathan's aunt, Gaynell Brewer, she spearheaded the whole thing. She brought on the master gardeners. And when I tell you, these people are so passionate about gardening. And one volunteer in particular, her name is Wilma. She's been nothing but a blessing. And then we have a local person in the community, Molly. I can't remember Molly's last name, but Molly's actually spearheading it now. So like they passed the cucumber. They have a picture where they passed the cucumber, passed the torch on to Molly. And
that's
it's
amazing.
Molly Rice, yes.
Very good. Well, all these things going on, what's next? I mean, obviously you've got to, keep raising money.
Yes.
Keep going. What's the kind of the chronology that you're looking at?
So right now, like we're in the after school programs. I actually just got awarded a grant to start a program called Empower Our Girls, where I want to do Girls Who Code, creative writing, and kind of a beauty element to it, like about your hair and things like that, hair and skin. And that'll start up in the spring for girls.
These will be, after school classes? Right.
Maybe even a Saturday. I'm still working the kinks out for that. And then we also want to instill some crafty type things for boys, not necessarily crafty, but more like home improvement, right? And not just boys, but if girls want to learn how to fix a car, anyone.
Yeah.
So those are some things that will start up in the spring. And then our after school programs, and we're really, like I said, it's just the beginning phase. I'm trying not to take on too much like I did this summer. That was pretty crazy.
Well,
So I just want to take our time, but really grow and instill in these kids art.
if somebody watches this or knows, from your past presentations, hey, how can I help? What do they do?
Well,
if they want to talk to you about something,
So they can go to artincpeoria.org. I have all the volunteer needs that we have listed on there. They can also call. My number's listed pretty much on everything, anything.
I saw it on the
My number's
back here.
listed on. Very accessible. But some of the needs that we have are like administrative type work. I definitely need help in that area. People to kind of, like they did this summer, monitor, kind of like hall monitors, site liaisons type things.
help keep things organized.
Exactly. And then, of course, Jonathan needs help on the handyman, maintenance type stuff in the building.
Right.
There's a lot of needs that we have.
Now, the building itself, is it going to be done in stages?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have pretty much every floor ready, but some things need a little
many
bit more.
floors?
Three.
3?
Some floors need a little bit more TLC, but our main floor is set to go. And that's actually, the
And that's-
fundraiser's inside the building.
I was going to say, and that's where this
Yeah.
fundraiser, we should mention again, it's the 26th, a Saturday, at the 919 Northeast Jefferson. We'll get that address out there.
Oh, yes.
But it's the old Greeley School, for folks who know it. And we go to the website for more, artinc.com. Okay.
Artincpeoria.com.
Artinc-
.org.
.org.
Artincpeoria.org.
Don't listen to me. Listen to her. But that's great. And you've got all kinds of good sponsors
Oh my
here.
gosh, yes.
That we should mention. Core.
Casa de Arte,
CEFCU.
CEFCU, PNC, Illinois American Water just came on. This is actually an old brochure.
Oh,
But
okay.
Illinois American Water just came on.
Cell.
Excel Entertainment. And of course, a big thank you to Polly Barton.
Wow. Well, very
Yeah.
good. Well, that I'm exhausted just listening to you, and I haven't done anything but listen. But hey,
Well, you've
we
been
gotta
a
have
great supporter. We appreciate you.
I think it's reassuring to know that some people will never back away from a challenge. And that's what we need in Peoria. So this is great. Well, Nikki Romain, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll keep you posted on the fundraising thing.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds
okay?
good. And we'll see you on the 26th. Get your tickets.
That's all for Tarter Source. We'll see you next time.
PeoriaLife.com